let me lip sync. Y'all let me lip sync. Somebody was supposed to tell me, Lou, you supposed to say, I can't hear you. Okay, Sammy, you supposed to say, I can't hear you. I have my mic muted. Thank you. Now you say, no audio. Here's the audio. That's why I like doing the convos. You know why? Because I do whatever the heck I want to do. So I'm just having a conversation. Even if the conversation don't have no audio, I'm just having a conversation. Were y'all lip syncing? See, I said some great stuff. I said prophetic word to somebody and y'all missed it because you had to read my lips. Okay, you had to hear it. Okay, you hear the audio now? Yeah. Wait, you heard the music? Tomorrow, what's going on, man? See that? COVID-19, come on, man. You gotta get your presence back up, man. It's like just because we in COVID-19 don't mean we don't have a tomorrow setup or something, some kind of workshop or something you have us on. So Lewis, I'm so jacked up, man. I had to come on. I just had to come on because I keep getting inboxes about the teleprompters, okay? I'm sorry, the music was probably too loud. I'm cutting the music down. I kept getting inboxes about the teleprompters. And there's some things that are secrets. There's some things that you just gonna say. Lem, what's good, man? What's good? You see, I'm just here. I'm just live for just being live. And so I'm gonna give up the tape on teleprompters, okay? I'm gonna give up the tape on teleprompters. So let me make sure I get this right because this piece right here, I'm gonna call it just giving up the tape, okay? Call it giving up the tape. And so because I'm giving up the tape, this is the freebie stuff, okay? It's the freebie stuff, all right? So let me just do this. I do stuff on the fly. I set up stuff, but I do it on the fly, okay? So I'm just gonna do something on the fly. And so let me pull out the background here and I wanna just do something and I'm gonna reshape something and I'm gonna do something. Wait, get back. Okay, let me just copy this. And there it is. Give up the tape, good brother. Hold up, Reggie, you got me ready to do a whole segment. I want everybody right now, everybody, go to your Wi-Fi setting in your phone. And this is courtesy of Pastor Reginald Johnson, who made me laugh this week. Everybody go to the Wi-Fi in your phone and then just act like you're trying to select a network. And I want anybody who like, truthfully, don't make up one. But if you are somewhere where you got a crazy Wi-Fi situation, just put it in there. I'm curious. Reggie, please. This my brother, Pastor Reginald Johnson. Pastor Reginald Johnson. Shout out your church and the sermon you preached yesterday or didn't preach, whatever. But put in what the Wi-Fi, what the signal was. So I got like Double K, Swiss Family 4, Desmond, Xfinity, and then there's mine, which is a scripture, and it's Proverbs 3 and 5. So you'll know when you're in my neighborhood, because when you go on my Wi-Fi, it's going to say like a scripture or something. But I was somewhere where it was like some cuss words, it was some derogatory stuff, and this is what people put as their gateway. So I'm curious right now. Just type in the column. Go to your Wi-Fi setting on your phone. I don't have it up on Ecamm, but just go to your Wi-Fi setting. And if you got something crazy, please tell me what it is. If you don't have anything crazy, cool. But I want to see at this almost 11 o'clock hour, who's got the craziest Wi-Fi signals, like networks around you. So just go ahead and say it. Because if Reggie puts up what's going on in his neighborhood, y'all gonna be like, are you kidding me? Listen, I'm gonna put it on the screen. This is real. This is exactly, let me move this out the way. This is what his Wi-Fi said. Kevin Lyons, what you say? FBI surveillance van 4. Are you kidding me? Thank you, Kevin. Honest. So between Reggie and Kevin, who's got something better? Anybody got something better? Like one of those, you would not believe it. Listen, Lewis, I'm with you on Matrix. Matrix is dope. That's yours. Michael Scott Paper Company. Wow, that's not too bad. But right now, I think between FBI surveillance Van 4 and Trump 24, Biden is a criminal, and Black Lives Matter. Listen, y'all, if you don't know Pastor Reggie Johnson, he's a friend of mine, so just go check his page out. He put the post up. It's real talk, and I promise you, I think we thought he made it up, but it was like, no, it's legit. That's exactly what's going on. People actually change networks to talk about how they feel. What'd you say, Reggie? My Wi-Fi is hot. He said, Reggie, you changed your Wi-Fi. Like, how about if you went in the neighborhood and the Wi-Fi was, y'all gonna learn today? I would be scared. That's what you need to put, Reggie. Change your Wi-Fi network to, y'all gonna learn today, or keep on playing, okay? Elvis Turner saw it. Pastor Elvis Turner, you saw it, okay? Velrita, I know you saw it. It was crazy, wasn't it? Said y'all gonna learn today. Okay, let me see where I was getting at, because I said about those teleprompters, and legit, okay, legit. How's everything doing in West Virginia? Listen, y'all, just put up the love button. Just hit some love buttons. My brother, Pastor Rashawn Armad, him and my wife, they look like brother and sister with their eyes. He reminds me of my brother-in-law. They look like they were born from the same parents, the whole nine. But I got to tell y'all, they are both survivors. They both were stroke victims. They survived their stroke. Both of them were paralyzed and could not walk. And praise be to God, it was at Antonio McAllister's 50th birthday party, I think it was, that we were able to take a picture. And his wife and myself, and then him and my wife, they took a picture together because we went through the same thing of them two having to learn how to walk all over again. So, sidebar, because I am a preacher, thanks be to God for healing. And to my brother Kevin Lyons, his family, everybody, anybody who's been in and out the hospital, you've dealt with anything, praying for your healing. So, God is awesome, okay? Now, Tony, what's going on, Antonio? I'm doing bad girl she, okay? I'm going to change mine to try Jesus. Come on, y'all. Give me some Wi-Fi network names that you would actually put up just because folk is crazy, all right? What are we putting up? So don't make me start shot. Listen, Sonia, you know how it go. Siobhan, good to see you on. Hey, Siobhan, I got your message. I'm on it. Just let me know the deadline. I told your husband, just let me know the deadline. And, you know, me and Tina going to do it. So if Pam and Siobhan say it got to get done, we just going to go ahead and do it. We more scared of Siobhan, not Pam. Yeah, more so Siobhan. Pam's cool. Siobhan, yeah, we kind of scared of you. Okay, listen, I said I was going to talk about these teleprompters, right? So for most people in the community that I'm in, Samuel McFadden, what's going on? Howdy. Okay, I see you. So here's what's going to happen. I actually have, I use a teleprompter, right? And the teleprompter I put up there, Felicia, what is going on, my sister? Felicia, you want to check this out. This is on the teleprompter tip. Oh, Siobhan is boss. K. Reed, Siobhan is boss. Pam is the cool one. Siobhan's the one you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, all right, if Siobhan said do it now, you get it done. Pam, you just be like, oh, Pam will be all right. But Siobhan, you know, I know she the younger sister, but she the bully of the family. Everybody think Pam is the bully. It's Siobhan. I'm sorry. Siobhan, I love you. I had to get you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So check this out. I'm going to show y'all the teleprompter that I jumped on, and I'm doing it. John, did you get my inbox? We on it. Andre Person, where all the preachers coming from? The preachers are in the house. Preachers, put up what y'all preached yesterday. Just throw it in the column. This is how we do. Put in the column what you did. Put a link to your page. Okay, put a link to your page. There's times when we do the business stuff, but this preacher stuff, because it's Monday. It's right after Sunday, so throw in there. You don't have to be the pastor, but if you preach something in your house, put it on there. Teleprompter talk. Listen, Monty, I'm lunching because this is what I need to do real quick. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, y'all. I said I was going to do it, so here we go. Copy this to clipboard. This is some other stuff that I'll tell y'all about later. Not telling you about it now. Okay, boom. Here it is, giving up the tape, okay? Gonna give up the tape. There's the tape right there. I got the tape over me. I'm supposed to make this smaller so it'll fit. I can't move it around because it's too big. I can only make it smaller. And so here's the tape over here. Giving up the tape. Y'all ready for it? I like this. I'm not doing the first review. I'm just saying I'm gonna just do it live because there's a ton of reviews on there. But I discovered something today that nobody told me, and it was really ticking me off. It was getting on my nerves. So most of us are used to the Glide Gear TMP teleprompter. That's kind of like a standard. Everybody gets the Glide Gear. If y'all don't know what it is, you got to check out Monty's page, somebody else's page, or whatever that knows what they talking about, okay? Keep putting them sermons up. I didn't forget y'all with the sermons, okay? Make sure people see them because somebody might need it. They looking about teleprompters, but they probably need Jesus. So just go ahead and put it in there, and whatever floats your boat, go for it. Sneak past their page. Just hit the love button. Whether you listen to the whole sermon or not, just hit the love button. Keep going. Kevin, what you preach yesterday? I need to know. Just go ahead. Whatever the sneaker preach was. Learn and do. All right, everybody, learn and do. Shout out to Diana Gladney. Either she's coming on tonight or I'm going to put her on tonight. Either way, she'll be on my show every time. I can always get Diana Gladney on my show. Now, about those teleprompters, let's go. So giving up the tape here. Here's the tape. Okay, y'all ready? My mind is playing tricks on me. Bro, John, I'm feeling that. I gotta get over there. I gotta check that out. She said, wait a minute. Hey, Diana, you know, I ain't asking you to come on. I'm not even gonna send you a link because I'll put you on here whether you like it or not. Until you sue me, you gonna be on here. And you got words. Call, you gotta let that marinate. I'm messing with you, sis. Y'all hang around for a second. Seriously, post your sermon from this AM. Bring it. Wisdom in the counsel of many. Absolutely. So you said, wait, from this AM? That was yesterday, Kevin, I think. Yeah, it was yesterday's sermon. Look, I'm trying. Let me get to this tape. Right here before Monty kills me. Monty is like a mentor to me. I love Monty. So this behind me, I'm going to show you this. Last week I jumped on, so shout outs to anybody with a Stream Deck. Here is a Keith made, butchered up. It's got holes in it. You have to fill it. You have to do something about these screws, but this is a Stream Deck cover. It'll fit right over. 2 of them are going already, and so this one right here, I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, but if you have a Stream Deck XL, maybe we can talk. I'll figure out. It's a prototype, so I have to sign it yet, but I may keep it because I put copper in there and it kind of looks cute. Wait, here, jeez, I'm sorry. There it is. It fits right over top of here. Okay, it fits over top of there if you want to put a sexy thing on your desk. Now, let's go. Post the sermon in the Ecamm Church group. There's an Ecamm Church group. Please put me in there. I see you, girl. Wait a minute. I got something just for India. I got my horn. India's in the house. Okay. Looks like a miniature organ bench. Tamika, it does, doesn't it? It looks like a Hammond B3 miniature organ bench. Oh, Lord. Okay, so let's go to teleprompter. Let me do this before we start having fun, because I promised y'all I was going to do it. Switch the tone up real quick, all right? Got to get my funky music on, all right? Here we go. There we go. Had to get a little hip hop type, you know what I'm saying? A little funk groove on there. Funk groove is going to be my explanation and talking about how things work. I'm going to get the right camera switch. Let me get it. 6 glasses on the desk, plus 1. Let's discuss. Just a couple, Reggie, just a couple. I had to try to do church at home, okay? So the desk, yeah. Glasses, okay? Because I have to flip them up so the look is different, okay? So let's get back to this. So I'm gonna go to the camera that's going to show us what we need to see, and that is number 2. Okay, there's number 2. So let's go to pose right here. Come on, thing, move. Okay. right here you have the, I'm sorry. Let's go to this. A1, right? This teleprompter right here is cool, but it's not, okay? It's cool, but it's not. So here's what I learned about teleprompters. The one that I normally use that everybody knows about, that teleprompter is the Glide Gear TMP 100. If you have a laptop, they would suggest this 75, which is cool, but I don't think it's cool. I first got the Parrot. The Parrot is wonderful. And what the Parrot does is it slides over top of the camera lens. It's only good for a phone, but the problem is it's a tray and the phone sits in it, so it kind of blocks out the full screen of your phone. And if you have a big iPhone, you're not really going to see the edges well. So here's what I did. I'm cool with the Glide Gear, but I needed a remote setup so that if I'm not in my room and for church announcements or people in your congregation or people as a part of your team, if it's not church, this is not a church thing, but if they're part of your team and you have something specific for them to say or policy to read, and you don't have all day for them to memorize it and you want them to look in the camera, you put it on your phone or something, but the Parrot, you have to shrink it too small. So I'm like, I need a bigger screen. So I went and I tried this Andor, and it's good, but it ain't good. Here's what they don't tell you about teleprompters. Those people who understand the TMP 100, the idea is when you put your confidence monitor together or you put something underneath it, you got to think about when, I'm going to illustrate it for you right here on this book. You ready? Because I don't have a camera to show you the TMP real quick. But what happens is, if this is a teleprompter here, you want whatever the screen is on the bottom so that this looks good here. You want the screen to fit right up against the mirror here, or you want it to be underneath. These teleprompters that they're selling everybody, whatever sits on the tray in front, like this phone here, it sits out so far that where the camera is on there, it's like you have all of this space and it's wasting up the whole picture. So I got this one and I realized you can't put a decent monitor under there and fill up the screen because it doesn't go underneath the teleprompter so that you get the full screen effect. To me, it's almost like a slight false advertisement. Now, let me just see. Okay, I'm gonna keep up with these comments real quick. Church guy, Jody, what's going on? You said, I just got my new Glide Gear TMP 100 today. I just used it to record for my next post. The TMP is the bomb, okay? So the angle, you're right, Diana, the angle is off on these jokers. So I did some work. Man, you helped me with glasses. I threw all my lenses out. Yeah, Reg, that's the secret, okay? That's another piece of the tape I'm giving up. Oh, I still got the tape on the screen. Let me move the tape off the screen real quick. Tape, move. Okay. I did not preach yesterday, but the next time I preach, it is temples in distress. 1 Corinthians 6, 19 through 20. Good stuff. Tom, what's going on? I hope your son told you I said what's up. All right. Now, so look, Sammy, you need a teleprompter if you don't want to spend the Glide Gear money, okay? Let me turn the music down so y'all can hear me. If you don't want to spend the Glide Gear money, the Andor is cool, but the angle, as Diana said, the angle is off if you don't get the right monitor and pair it up. If you get the Glide Gear 100, it's big. The cloth keeps dipping, in my opinion. I don't care too much for it. It takes up a lot of space on your desk, but it looks neat. If it's stationary, get that. But if you move around a lot, I'm going to show you what you need to do. I'm not telling y'all nothing new. I'm just telling y'all what I know, okay? So let's get to this right here. Move, camera. She's going to move. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. I'm going to demonstrate for you. What's going on, Freeman? I'm going to demonstrate for y'all. So I have in the box about to play Glide Gear, iPad, smartphone, teleprompter, but I'm throwing a Lilliput, yes, A8S 4K 8.9 inch on camera, HDMI, and 3G SDMI monitor on the base with the HDMI switcher to control the look through. Absolutely, Kevin. See, Kevin, you're on it. So, Kevin, I'm helping out some folk who don't really know. John, what's going on, Gooden? Sandra Williams, Dr. Williams, y'all are up tonight. So remember, Diana G said she would rather, or we all should strive for significance above success. Absolutely. Limb drops. Yes, you're in the house. So look, check this out. Here is this one right here is a Des View. This sucker's been out for a while. Basically what it is, it's a remix of the Parrot, okay? Somebody remixed the Parrot and they came up with this. Again, I'm not telling y'all nothing new. I'm just telling y'all what I know. Okay, let me see. I think I got my scene set up. Let me go this. So hang on one second. I think I got it right. Okay, I'm looking the wrong way. So let me get to, oh, but that camera's over there. So, all right, sorry, y'all. So here's what's happening. This guy right here, it does what the Parrot does, but it is the solution. Now, it's hard as jacks to get off. Okay, y'all? So trust me, this thing is hard to get off. But once you get it off, you get to go. Here's what it does. You take this guy, you get the ring. I'm just doing a fast approach to this. You take the ring and you put the ring on there, right? After you get the ring on there, there's a bunch of rings to fit it. This is not a super YouTube detailed something. I'm just doing what I do, okay? Here's what you do. You put this sucker right over top of it, right? And you just got to line it up because I got a big lens on there. All right, that's going to be heavy. Let me get the feet right on this guy. I should have just put it on the stand. Okay, you know what? Hang on one second. I'm going to put it on the stand. Let's close these spider legs. It's a little Edelchrome spider legs. Hang on. Little drop right there. This comes right off. Okay. Let's get this guy off. Move out the way. Move. Get out the way. Okay. Now, let's get this guy over here. Come on over here, Mr. Tripod. Mr. Tripod comes over here. Bam. Okay. Now, let me lower this guy. All right. Camera on. Let me turn this around. Y'all give me 1 second. Okay. Camera's locked in place. Now, here we go. She gets on here. And there we have it. Okay. Now, compared to the Glide Gear, this is a smaller footprint, but the idea is this. Lilliput 7 is going to be too big, okay? Nah, it's a real good tripod. Tripod is excellent. I just had to get it over there. So this right here is going to be too big, right? If you notice, it fills up the screen, but it's got a lip on here. And so when you put it underneath here and you put words and stuff on it, the problem is that you're chasing. Even if I took the little jacket off or whatever, I'll take the jacket off. Come on, jacket. Get off, jacket. Hang on. Okay, jacket's off. Lilliput A7, okay? It's great. You can put the Lilliput A7 under there. However, okay, the problem with the Lilliput A7 is you're going to get too much of the bezel down here. And so then your words are up here. So when you're looking in the camera and you're trying to see it as a confidence monitor or whatever, you're missing everything at the top because the angle on there is not going to show you everything up top. So you're missing that. Okay. You're missing all of this that's on the top. So if you're trying to use it as a confidence monitor, everything up top. So let me up here. So see this hand over here. If you put stuff on your screen there, I can see it all on this Glide Gear. If your monitor's too big, you're going to miss all of that. And then you got to try to crop the picture and do all of this stupid stuff, okay? You got to do all this stuff. So here's the idea. What I did is I did the research today to find out what monitor actually works under there. Now, if you're just using it for words and not a confidence monitor, Just throw a phone underneath there or an iPad mini. Let the words roll on the screen, and then you can read them, and no problem. You can use a parrot for that. If you're doing small things like a tutorial, or you got clients and they're just saying something, or they want to say their little poem on camera or whatever, just put it on the little monitor. If you want to use it as a confidence monitor and you want to clean that desk up and make it a little bit neater, I did the research. So you get an Ascenian, or whatever you pronounce it, Andesian, whatever, okay, or a free world. You want to get the you want to get a 6-inch or a 5, 7 or 6-inch. I did the measurements and it'll fit perfectly under here. And what it'll do is you'll end up seeing the entire screen top to bottom all the way full on the teleprompter itself. Okay. Thank you, Doc. That's what I needed. So that's exactly what you want to do. I went live to say this because nobody had that on any of the YouTubes to say exactly what size confidence monitor to put underneath there. So for those of you on the TMP, you want to get the biggest monitor you can. If you want to use an iPad, do it. I just rather use the flip monitor. It's a rich picture. You don't have to tie up the iPad. You can do a solid hardwire connection, HDMI. That's what I do here. What I can do, if it helps everybody, I can plug up this guy and show you the TMP. I'll show you an overhead just in case. Okay, let's go to an overhead real quick. So here, TMP is over here. See, this is my monitor. Let me take this out the way real quick. So this is the monitor sitting on the TMP. The TMP is over here with a A100 behind it. And so this monitor fills up the whole screen so you see the whole thing. So, okay, Monty, you have the Feel World 7-inch. Okay, waiting on my cables to hook it up. Now, Monty, I'm curious, are you using the glide gear, or are you using a glide gear, or are you using this guy over here? And again, for anybody that wants to use this, if you notice, those of you who have the glide gear, this is a smaller footprint, and I like it. I'm just giving people an option so that they can, you know, if they don't want to chase the glide gear, this sucker right here is like way less. It's like $119 or something like that, unless you get a glide gear on sale. But what I like about it is this is the best part. Just like the Parrot, I can just clean this up and boom, take my camera outside. I'm good to go. The problem with my glide gear is you got the cover, you got to close it, you got your monitor underneath there, you put it on the tripod, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. If you are moving a lot and you want a confidence monitor / you want to keep your words tight, and you know, you write them down and you want to say them, you can take this guy and throw this right over top. Boom, right there. And you can put your little monitor there. Okay, and you got it. You good to go. The other thing, y'all ready for this? I told y'all I'm giving up the tape. Giving up the tape real quick. So here's the thing. Hang on. Real simple. On my YouTube channel, I talked about the blind spot. Okay, here, blind spot. So here's a blind spot. You take those big old dookie batteries that you got hanging around. Slap that dookie battery on there, right? And get you a $6 cable right here, okay? And then you can just throw this in here and you got juice for the monitor right off the battery pack. You got juice for the camera on the battery pack, and you actually have your confidence monitor right here. You have your confidence monitor. You throw it right under here. So this right here is a 5-inch. I have a close to a 6-inch coming. And so that's going to fill up this whole screen without any edges. It's going to pretty much take up all the space in here before it fans out. And that way you get more of a solid, you know, confidence monitor / teleprompter for your words. Okay. Most people were concerned about if I'm using teleprompter, I need to be able to see what's on the screen. So I went glide gear to put a big old I think A11 or something underneath there. Okay, so it's what, 10 inches or something diagonal. It's a big one, so I can see the entire thing. These teleprompters, okay, and the reason why this is going back because it does not allow the monitor to sit underneath there, and then it's too narrow up here. And so when you get something that fills up the width, you got all of this extra over top, and then it offsets for the lens. So the lens will be here and all your words and stuff will be up here. So you're never actually looking in the camera anyway. So, yeah, this monitor I'm looking in here, my camera is centered right there. So I'm looking spot at the center square on here, and I got the whole screen around me, just like if I'm looking at my monitor over in front of me. And so that would be the need to make sure that you match the right monitor with the teleprompter, because the way they advertise it, they just slap a little phone on there and they tell you it's all good to go. And then you got people with iPads and they're wondering why everything's backwards. Unless you found out a program or an app, if anybody's out there that you know about an app or a program that's going to flip it, it's going to flip the scene. Come on, that's going to flip the scene. Put it in the column so everybody knows. If not, people will think, oh, I got an iPad, I'm just throw an iPad under there. Yeah, but everything's backwards. Okay, your words are backwards, you're backwards, your stuff is backwards, you're not orienting right, and you're not seeing exactly what they're seeing. Okay, so in teleprompter apps, you can flip the stuff around. But if you use it as a confidence monitor, yes, sidecar. I heard it already. I'm using it as a sidecar. Yeah, sidecar is driving on the other side of the street. The sidecar is in Europe and you're still in America. Or the sidecar is in South Africa with the wheel on the other side and you're still in America. If that's what you want to do and float your boat, go for it. But if you want to get it right, you got to pony up and you got to get a monitor. Monitor is going to cost you a little bit of change, but get a monitor, okay? Get a monitor so you can flip it, it's solid, and you have multiple use. Because once you pull it off the teleprompter, you can take the monitor, throw it on top of the camera when you go out into the field. It's going to do more for you than your beautiful, cute leftover iPads, okay? Now, I use my leftover iPads every now and then to get an extended, screen. I use the television, smart TV, and all of that. But those guys don't flip the entire scene, okay? They don't flip the screen. They'll flip something within an app, but they're not going to flip the scene. I could be wrong. Maybe there's an app out that's going to tell your iPad to make you backwards on the iPad. But until then, I have not seen it, okay? So, that's pretty much all I had to say on the teleprompters. So I am the coffee conversation guy, okay? I'm not one of these tutorial people to tell you about certain things because I don't know what I'm talking about. People like Lim knows what he's talking about, okay? People like the Bishop, Sean Doc Boyd, know what they're talking about, okay? I'm like Felicia, we preachers, man, woman of God. We inspire, uplift, and just try to look deep. All this time I'm sitting here without Alexa, turn on Love Light. I don't believe this. I don't ever go live without that light on. I do not go live without that light on. I don't believe myself. The light was not on. Y'all didn't tell me the light was not on. Somebody say it's love. It's time for a love scene, y'all. It's time for a love scene. I have to do this because anytime I go live, I have to bump this song because it is so necessary and we pretty much need it, okay? So, after all that talking, I'm going to go through the column.
They say I'm crazy.
Yes, little party time.
The way you got me open.
Tell somebody you love them in the column. I just switched it up. I know I did. I just switched it up. Just tell somebody that you love them.
They say I'm bugging.
Come on, y'all ain't too holy to jam real quick.
I'm time sweating your love.
There we go. Where the fellas at? They all sit and wonder why. I wish I could sing.
This
30 people here. You know why? Because we love one another. Say it. Love. I'm gonna check the comments out real quick. I'm gonna check out the comments. Just say it's love. Shout out to my girl Jill Scott. Somebody say it's love. Come on.
They say I'm flipping.
Yup.
The way you got my whole life flipping. They say I'm
She said losing it. Just can't seem to keep my grip. See, I might say something secular, but it's still sacred. I love all
We
y'all.
all cry when we feel pain. When love is gone, it's not the same.
It ain't a question of brains.
Question of brains.
Come on, hashtag it's love. We need it right now. She says, right there. She says, right there. She says, hands together, come on.
Say what?
And she says,
Say what?
she says,
Say what?
watch this. They all sit and wonder why. These feelings I cannot hide.
And I cannot hide.
It ain't a question.
It ain't a question of pride.
I cannot hide. Y'all can't hide it. Come on, we having fun on this e-cam thing. You can't hide it. Learn and do it. I can't hide it. Somebody say right there. Audrey, you know what this is. Come on.
Do you want it on your collard greens?
Type in
Do
your
you
food.
want it in your candy sweets?
Come on, do you want it?
Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want it in your? Do you want it on your biscuit, baby?
Do you want it on your rice and gravy? Jill gonna come back on here sooner or later, y'all. I'ma get her.
Come on, give it, give it, give it, give it to me.
Hands. Song almost over, y'all.
Say what? Say
What brother's wife is thinking with his unprocessed voice without music and monitor singing in the house? Woo! Love, 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 love. Alright, if you got any questions about that teleprompter stuff, let me know. I'm almost done. I'm letting the whole thing play. There we go. There we go. It's love. That's what I had to do. I like to take breaks like that and do things like that, talking about love. So appreciate that. Brian, Brian, are you back from Africa, bro? Like, you've been out of the country chilling, man. Make sure you quarantine. All right, brother, make sure you quarantine. All right. So flipping like a whack teleprompter. Listen, y'all, let me get some music back on here. I got my, you know what? I played it before. I'm doing it again because it's dope. Shout out to Juan and Sonia. No, Sonia, you don't get a shout out. Juan gets the shout out. He's doing tracks, y'all. He's hooking people up with some tracks, some bed music, okay? He's taking love offerings for it. He's not trying to crush nobody, but he's got fire. Just a ton of fire. Just sitting around. I appreciate you, Juan. You the man, okay? I'm trying to keep up with comments. Funny when YouTube comes at you for copyright, send them an autograph and tell them to shut up. Hey, look, Doc, you know I'm just trying it. I'm just giving it a shot. I'm giving it a try. Like, let me see. Maybe I can get away with it, and I'm just going to do it. I need the tracks. Hey, Hayward, he's got them. So please send them to me. He's got them. Okay? Sonia, hit Hayward up. Inbox him. Let him know. Juan's got the tracks. So look, shout out to Hayward Hamilton, my brother Hayward Hamilton. I'm telling y'all, he's got the best picture up, and he's got the best little commentary up that I've seen in a minute. So I'm going to do it like this. Let me see. In case, make sure he don't have like 35 other posts up here. I got to put him on blast, y'all, because I think somebody needs this on tonight. Okay? Somebody needs this one. Okay, let me see. Hayward, I'm about to get you, man. I'm about to get you, Hayward. I'm about to get you. Where's it at? Hayward, how many posts did you put up since? Come on, man. Hayward, I'm trying to find it. Hang on 1 second. I love it. Hayward, come on, you get me, man. That was yesterday. I'm trying to find Sunday. I'm trying to get it before the track is over. There we go. I got it. Show y'all how to do with Ecamm. Ecamm does this for you. It's real simple. Boom. There we go. I love it. Oh, darn it. Here we go. Check this out, people. Duck my music real quick. Monica is in the house. That's what I'm talking about, sis. Monica doing it big this year. Well, every year. She been doing it big every year. I got to find an old choir picture with Monica in there so I can get her. But anyway, look at this right here, because a lot of people needed this right here. And Hayward, I showed my wife, and she was cracking up too, because it's awesome like that. So here's what happened. Hey, look, Sean, I forgot. Let me do this real. Okay, there we go. I'm in the picture too. So if you look over here, see what Hayward says. I know it's small to read, but here's what happened. Felton, what's going on, man? Stewart, I see y'all. Here's what happened. So Hayward, see, Hayward and I, we get dope in our suits and our pink jacket, our other suits and stuff like that. And so, we got the same kind of haircut, you know what I'm saying? We wear the glasses and all. He preaches way better than me. But anyway, check this out. He put this picture up and I'm looking, I'm like, all right, here we go. Look at Hayward. And then I didn't notice there's a dent in the car in front, and he didn't know it either until after he got the picture and he's getting it all together. But we always sneak a preach out of anything. So hashtag SAP. We always sneak a preach out of everything. And y'all are going to catch it right now. But we sneak a preach out of anything. And so here's what he did. He took and put a caption on it instead of fixing the picture. It's kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so here's what I love. And this will shout most people, other people, you'd be like, oh yeah. But for me, it blessed my spirit. He says, while most, notice he put capital M-O-S-T, while most will see the dent, the real praises will focus on the survivor. That's me. There's a dent in the front of the car, but the survivor is the bigger part of the picture and in full color. That right there is a shout within itself. Everybody's not on it, but most people, it did bless you because you needed to hear that, because there are people around you that all they know is about all the dents in your life. They know about the dents and the dings from when you was in high school, when you was a child in church, when you grew up, from around the way. They know all your dents, but they don't look at the survivor. You know what a dent was? When my wife had her stroke. When Pastor Rashad Armand had his stroke. That's a dent. But the survivors are the two people that took that wonderful picture at McAllister's birthday party. Okay? My son got hit by a car. That's a dent. But the survivor is in the house right now, about to go to sleep. He better be, so he can get up and go to school tomorrow. My son, who has bad allergies, had a bad asthma attack, and he was in the hospital, and I was 50 miles out riding a bike, and I had to hurry up and get home to reach him. My wife was out of town, and he had to go to the hospital, and they almost had to intubate him. That child right there is a survivor. We all have a lot of dents in our lives, and you may know our dents and see the dent in the picture, but make sure that as a real praiser, a real person who trusts God, believes God, look at the survivor. Pastor Monica is on here right now. There's a lot of dents that she and we can reference because we grew up together. We know each other. Audrey, I saw Audrey here. Many people I go way back with. We can talk about dents and dings and scratches all we want. But if we look at the bigger picture, we are survivors for a reason. That's all I had to say. See, that's what happened when Hayward comes around. We start getting to that point of preaching because that's just what we do, okay? I'm sorry. And guess what? In the room right now, oh, it's me over me. Get out of here. Hey, wait, I did something. Are you ready? Are you ready? I did something. This is crazy. Just tell somebody you got time for it. All right? Tell somebody you got time for it. Because here's what we got time for. We got time for this wonderful person in the room, and his name is Mr. Lim, right? And Lim, we call him Lim Drops. And I just got to find how I'm going to get Lim Drops. There we go. Lim Drops is in the picture.
What's good, bro? Let me make sure I'm on the center of that watch, man. Watch
I'll change it up. I'm just experimenting right here. Listen, Lim Drops is in the house. You gotta be kidding me, man.
Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Good to have me here.
Yeah, man. Lim
I'm
Drops.
getting all twisted up, man. How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. How you like me talking about you the other day? Did you like that?
I love it. I was dying. I was dying. I was in my bed, you know. I was just cracking up.
Can I get some credit? Did I do it right? Did I do it right?
You did.
Hold up. Did me and Diana get it right? Because Diana got it right too. We said, see, when she said when he do like this, boy. We was on the road killing you the other night, bro.
I was in bed, and you know, once I'm in bed, and my Puerto Ricans got me not going anywhere. She's sleeping right now, so I kind of snuck out.
Everybody, shout out to Lim, another pastor, you know, preacher friend of mine. He knows
Hey,
how to
everybody.
get on while his wife is asleep. He knows. Shout out to all the husbands that know how to get on live after you make sure that baby is in the bed, chilling, and then you just slide down to your little setup, and then you get on live.
That's for real, though, bro.
Hold up, Diana said Lim be wanting to sneak on the stream.
You really
She
do.
got him, wanting to sneak on the stream. Listen,
man.
So you know me, I just do convos.
So good.
That's it. I just do convos.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm not as polished as all of y'all are. The elite crew of the ECAM Let's Get Live community.
Exactly. That's right.
You know,
That's right.
so
We'll take it.
So Lim, some
Yes,
people
sir.
don't know why I call you one of my favorite. You are my favorite Filipino preacher.
You only know one Filipino preacher.
Diana, you are my favorite Filipino preacher. I hope you know that.
Because that's like saying you have one favorite sister and she's the only one you have.
You are my favorite brother. It's like it's only one of us, man. It's only
Yeah,
one.
that's right. I know how the game rolls. I'm sorry, I'm messing around with this microphone. Doc is probably killing me right now. There you go. I'm good.
Listen,
Man, that's hilarious.
So wait, before my sister Pastor Monica goes off, I'm going to do this to you again. I'm going to do it to you again. Please, in your best after
But you're
Sunday,
the fave, Monica.
tell us real quick about the tree. Just please tell us about the tree. I just need it real quick for those people that are watching. Lim, listen, let me bring him up. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are truly glad to be in the number one more time. And Monica, please stay on just for a second, because this is something that we do, and all other pastors, You just got to hear it
Lord.
from the Filipino preacher.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
How do we say it? First, giving honor to God, and who's head of my life. Truly glad to be in the house of the Lord one more time. To all pastor, deacons, members, and friends, and all of those who are visiting, you know the words of prayer. Pray for me and my family that we may grow stronger in the name of Jesus. But tonight we have a special guest all the way from the other side of the turnpike. None other. I'm going to present to some and introduce to others. None other than the Reverend, the Right Reverend. Lil Drop. We just put him on the spot. He was just passing through. He was just traveling through this barren land.
Oh my God.
And we didn't write him a letter to come and preach, but we just called him in. And as he was here, we just thought it not robbery for him to just give us a few remarks and let the Lord have his way. But he touched my life. And he said something about the tree. And my God, you got to hear about the tree and the moochers. So give us a little bit on the tree and the moochers. Come on and say hello to everybody. Come on. There we go.
Hello, everybody. I'm so grateful to be in the house tonight.
Yes, sir.
First, I want to give honor to the man of the house. To
I ain't
Reverend
nobody.
Elder Keith Peltzer. The one and only, the Grammy Award winner, the producer upon producer. We give honor to his wife and his lovely home. We give honor to the church at large and those that are on Facebook land. And of course, we cannot do anything without the Lord. So we are giving great honor to him as well. I just came here from the way of Staten Island, New York City.
New York City. Come on, sir.
To share this message of the tree. I can't do this.
The way.
Oh, there you go. All right, ready? You see, everybody, sometimes
Don't hoop
we're
yet. Don't hoop
motivated
yet,
by
though.
fear.
Don't hoop yet. Work up to the hoop. Work up to the hoop.
You know, in my travels across the nation, through my internet connection, which sometimes fails me, I realize that there are people that are motivated by fear. But you see, you cannot be motivated by moochers, because there will be a lot of moochers, but you'll realize that those that go and thieve are not always there in the stores. Oftentimes, when you go to the stores, you get people that pay for their stuff, not steal their stuff. There are a lot less moochers than there are thieves. There are a lot more thieves. No, there are a lot more.
It's all right, Reverend.
Let me start again.
Wait. Do you need a sermonic hymn real quick? I give you a small sermonic hymn, and then we can jump right back to it, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 3 seconds of a sermonic hymn. Listen, this is real talk, y'all. Real sermonic hymn.
There you go.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks.
Lift your hands all over the
for he
building
has
right now. Lift your
given
hands.
Jesus Christ, his Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because he's given Jesus Christ, his Son. And
I see you straight.
now
Lift your hands.
let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich because of what the Lord has done
All right. Here we go.
for us. And now let the weak say I
Raise your hands,
am
everybody.
strong.
Here we go.
Let the poor say I am rich
Come on, sing.
Thank you, Sister Tamika. We bless the
Thank
Lord.
you, Sister Tamika.
Back
We are
to
so
the
blessed by
pulpit.
that song.
It's back to you, Reverend.
I'm sorry. Now, in this moment, in our day and age, where the where the grasshoppers are aplenty, and the fields are withered and wilted, we have to understand that we need to bring the water of refreshing unto the nations. By and by, when the trumpet sounds, we understand that we will be ready as it comes along. But you see, we have to understand that the motivations that we have to have cannot be on the people that take from us. In this time, we've got to be motivated by the people that will receive from us rather than they would take from us.
Yes, sir.
I want everybody to consider the tree. The tree is not afraid of the next season because the tree knows and understands that the season will change, but the tree will remain in its place. And if it's founded and settled and rooted in the right field, in the right ground, it knows as long as it rains on the just and the unjust, it will bear the fruit in its due season. And so no matter if there's an animal that partakes of its fruit,
Listen,
or
Monica,
a
here you go.
rampant man that would come and take of its fruit, it is not concerned about the moocher. It is concerned about bearing fruit, because it's the fruit that brings out the seed. And the moochers may take, but one of the things that the tree understands, the moocher will eat the fruit and the seed will be in its belly. And so the tree may not be able to move, but even the moocher will be used to bring the seed to a different field. And so the tree is not afraid of anybody that can take from it. It's not afraid of the takers. It's not motivated by the people that will mooch or that will take. It is motivated by its internal knowledge that it will bear fruit in its season. And as long as it's faithful to its fruit-bearing season, then the tree or the animal that have stolen the fruit from the tree may have stolen it, but it will bear fruit, and it will take that seed that was stolen from the tree and put it in a different field. And when that moocher poops that seed out, the tree will multiply its generations in a different soil. The tree don't have to move because of the moocher. The tree don't have to move because of the taker, because it knows if it's faithful in the fruit, then the seed will bear its generations after it.
I told you. Monica, listen, my sister Monica and I, we spoke of this stuff, and what I know she's not afraid of, and others who are watching, is we have something in common. We are not afraid of the moochers.
Well, we can't be. You know, when you're motivated by fear, there are people that today, like for instance, today, there was one guy that was on one of the communities that you and I are involved in, and he was like, look, can our software kind of obfuscate or hide what kind of software I'm using? Sometimes when I send my interview link, it shows the kind of software I'm using. I don't want my competitor to see what I'm using, because then they may use it against me, or they may get an advantage. And I was telling them, look, you cannot consider a tool as your edge. You cannot consider your tool as the thing that makes you more competitive, so to speak. You've got to take a look at yourself. It's you.
Yes.
Because when you're motivated by the fear of the competitor taking over, then you're going to be looking back instead of looking ahead. You know, when you think about Usain Bolt, for instance, he doesn't look back. Right. He runs until he realizes the finish is almost there. The finish line is almost there. Then he looks back. He doesn't look back to look at where his competitors are. He looks back to see how far he's won. See, a lot of people are looking back, looking at competitors. If we're going to look back, we're looking back because of how far we've gone and how far we've ran.
Yes.
We're not competing against anybody else. We're competing ourselves.
You know how we say that. You know how we say that in the black church. When I look
Yes, sir.
back over my life,
When I look back over my life
and I think things
and I
over.
think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I've got a testimony.
Okay, A
When I
flat.
look
He in A
over my
flat.
life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I've got a testimony. Woo! I got a testimony. The Lord has been good. I've got a testimony. The Lord has been good. I've got a testimony.
Say a word, son. Say a word, man. When I look back and think things over. Listen,
Yeah.
man, I got something for you that's gonna bless you, man. I said, so I was talking about Law and Grace the other day, bike riding.
Yeah.
But the next word on wheels I was dealing with my little bike computer, right? And I said, my bike computer is crazy because when you're on the bike, it measures how you're working on the bike, but it's connected to GPS, right?
Okay.
It's connected to GPS, which means when you think GPS, you think 3 satellites to triangulate where you are.
Okay.
The bike computer talks to the GPS signal, which are, I look at Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I'm just cut across the field. You're on the bike and you're working, but every now and then you go through this dark place or you go through trees and stuff. And what happens is the computer on the bike is always reading what you're doing, but it won't give you an accurate reading when it loses connection from on high.
Yeah.
When it loses connection from on high, it continues to struggle with connection, but it may tell you that you're not working as hard as you are. So if you are doing 20 miles per hour and you go into the foliage, you go into the trees will block the signal and it won't be able to calculate exactly what you're doing. So
Yeah.
you may be doing 20 miles per hour and you might have a certain amount of pressure on the pedals, but it may say your pressure is lower and it may say you're moving slower, but you know you're working as hard. So here's what happens. When you get out of the tunnel, when you get out of the dark place, it goes back to the triangulation and then it estimates and it picks up and says, if this is what you were doing when you started and this dark area you went through, you ended up here at this time. It has to take the accurate reading, which was not what you saw when you were in there. It gives you what you know that you felt that you were doing, that it was telling you you were not doing. And what I was trying to tell some people in this season right now, you think, you know, you feel like you're working hard, but the readings aren't saying that you're doing exactly what you're doing. So here's the catch to it. When you get home, everything that was miscalculated, when you upload to the server, it's recalibrated, and then it gives you an accurate reading. So when you look back over your ride, look back over your life, everything that you thought you weren't good enough doing, it shows that as long as you work through it, you're going to get your reward. And the thing is, I taught that for 2 reasons. One for the living and one for those who have lost someone. For those who are lost, so they're worried about their life, I told them, I said, you may not know exactly how hard you worked in your life until you get home. Listen, Kosi. You may not ever know exactly how hard you've been working in your tunnels and through the trees of life until you get home. Because it's not until I get home that when I say the ride is finished, man, that's going to shout right there. It's not, you better put your hoop triggers on. It's not until I get home and hit the button that says,
Filipino, bro. We don't have hoops.
your ride is finished. When you hit that button and it says, are you sure? And I'm saying, yes, into thine hand, into the cloud. I commit my ride. I commit my journey, right? And then by the time I get out the garage and park the bike, I go to the computer and it shows me exactly what happened my whole ride, and I'm able to get an overview of what happened while I was in the field. I hope that blessed somebody, man. And that tree, brother, I'm still on. You blessed me.
What? I mean, because sometimes you're looking at your life and you just don't even know through the season. You can see somebody winning, you can see somebody accelerating, and you can see somebody kind of climbing up or glowing up, and you're just like, what is going on here?
Right.
Until you're past the clearing.
Right.
When you're past the clearing, then you realize, oh, okay, I understand now. I wasn't slow. I was not off, or I was not in a beaten, what do you call that? Off the beaten path.
Right.
I wasn't off schedule. I wasn't off track. I wasn't off route. I was going the way I was supposed to go.
Yep.
At the speed I was supposed to go, and the way I was supposed to go. I just didn't realize it because I was looking at my GPS to determine my pathway, to determine what I'm actually doing.
Yes.
But I'm feeling what the GPS is not telling me.
Yes.
But ultimately, at the end of it, what I feel and what has been recalibrated would connect. And then you realize, you know what? The same speed that I needed to go, the same speed that I was doing in the midst of all these stuff is the same speed I was just going. I just wasn't aware of it so much. So we cannot defeat our lack of insight, our lack of knowledge in what's happening now. Because now sometimes you don't see.
Yes.
Sometimes you only see when you look at by and by, right? When you look behind you, then you realize, that what was happening. There are so many things that is moving on and around us, and there's so many connections that is moving. I mean, think about this, the pandemic that we're in and the 2020 that was passed. I mean, I'm here talking to you, but all of those things that were seemingly terrible and seemingly a miss, and seemingly like I'm turning in pathways that I have no idea is directing me to the pathway where I'm at now. And so I realized that we've got to embrace the fact that we're not surprised that we're here. I think I was talking to Doc the other day, and I told him, I said, look, people are going to realize we're not surprised that we are where we're at. You know why? Because we were supposed to be here. And so I don't act surprised when my level that I began is not the level where I'm at now. Wow. I could look at my life and be like, wow, you are in these places and you are in conversations with people that you may have never met. But the fact is, I cannot be surprised at where I ended up because I was still in the path that was laid ahead of me.
Come on,
so
sir.
I can't be surprised that things actually aligned where I'm at. The fact of the matter is, the Bible tells us that the steps of the righteous man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his ways.
Yes.
We've got to understand that even though the steps are hard, God is delighting in the hardness of our steps.
Yes.
That even though our steps were wearied and our steps stumbled a little bit, he delighted on those steps. Why? Because the steps were guided by him. And sometimes we are complaining about the steps we're taking, when in reality, our Father has already paved the steps that we're walking. Yes. And he leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. I may not know where I'm going, but I've been led to the path of righteousness. I may not know how I got here, but I've been led in the pathway of righteousness.
Come on,
I may not know what I'm doing here, but I've been led in the pathway of righteousness. I may not even know what my end will be, but I know what fact that he that begun the work in me in the beginning
Watch yourself, Reverend. Watch yourself.
Sitting under the tunnel is still the same one that is bringing me through the shadows of the trees and the dips and the cracks of the path. But at the end of it, if I would stay faithful, if I would say, you know what, this is the path that he leads me. This is the way he told me to take. This is where he wants me to go. And if I'm faithful to the steps that he's given me, if I'm faithful to the mission he's placed in my life, if I'm faithful to the calling and the principles that has been established in my heart and in my mind way before the anything happened, I know that at the end of it, he that has begun the work in me is able to complete it even until the end. Come on now.
Wow, man.
Come on. Come on.
Listen. Listen, how can you not feel? You know what I was trusting enough that I knew God just wasn't going to fail us. Like, I think the problem that some people have is myself and a couple of my pastor friends that are around my age, we talked about this. God wasn't taken by surprise by COVID. We were. Especially in our flesh. America was. The believers who are tapped in, we don't, and it's funny because Monica and I were talking about this. It's like we had a conversation, my sis Pastor Monica and even Dr. Sandra Williams and a few others, Andre, too many to shout out. We all kind of had this conversation that we're not sitting here like, yay, we got COVID and I came up. We're not saying that, but at the same time, we have this old saying, a charge to keep I have, owe him, right? And it says that death may soon disrobe us all from what we here possess. So that's a little more Baptist. Sorry, Koji people, but death may soon disrobe us all, which means there's a constant that as we were born, we are going to die. And so in that we understand that everybody talks about in the dash, it's almost like we looked at COVID like it was some different dash. No, COVID is a part of the dash. Like that's a part of the trials. That's why the James Cleveland, and I think it wasn't the O'Neill twins. I think it was James Cleveland. I forgot the other singer. They sang a song called "This Too Shall Pass," right? And the song goes, "I've had heartaches like this before, and disappointments by the score. I claim the victory at last, for this too will pass." Whatever you come to, you have to look at this too will pass. So when you come to, as my wife, stroke, when you come to heartache, when you come to pain, you come to death in your family before COVID, you have to look at every situation, even though it's hard approaching it, this too will pass. And so when you're able to look at it like that, you know how to maximize in any moment, in any storm. So some people want to call it a storm, some people don't. I just call it a storm because it's kind of easy. I don't put the emphasis on, oh, the devil this, the devil that, the devil this, the devil that. It's like, listen, don't stop giving homie so much publicity and all of that stuff. Just look at, as a man is born, that we have in this world, Jesus says, much tribulation. Yeah. That's like, it comes with it. I always talk about the side effects of faith. The side effects of faith to me are like when you have something that's wrong, right? And when you look at Hebrews 11, right? I call it the side effects of faith. What's the side effects of faith? Well, it says we are troubled on every side. That's the side effect of being a believer. You know, we are cast down, but not forsaken. There's conjunctions in it.
Come on.
There's conjunctions all in it, but you have to look at the side effects. And what most people do, oh, I accept Jesus, and they don't understand, hey, listen, there are side effects. I mean, Jesus kept it 100%. He didn't say, oh, it's going to be, hunky-dory. The idea of every day is sweeter than the day before. The idea of pressing on is understanding that we are more than conquerors. So whatever it is that I'm coming to, I'm still more than whatever I've already conquered.
In fact, it's adding to who I am, not subtracting to what I've been.
Watch yourself,
right?
Boy. Watch yourself.
Let me, if I can, and I share this with somebody. What people think that situation or societal changes or even global changes affects where we are in line with the calling of God, but environments change and societal ideals change, and even in this realm, the pandemic does not change our calling. And that's the issue with a lot of people, because when trials come, people think their calling change. Let me say that again. People think when trials come, when things get hard, their calling changes, and it does not. It's the same.
Right.
I was telling the church, I was telling them, listen, just because the way we did things has changed does not mean our commission, the commission of Jesus to go into all the world, has changed. The method will change because of the situation at hand, but the calling remains the same. And I think if we're faithful to who we're called to be,
Right.
then we will shift with the changes that may come. A lot of people abandon their calling when changes come.
Right.
And that's where our issues lie. We've got to strengthen who we are when changes come. Because changes come, the wind will blow, the waves will hit the boat, but the ship cannot change what it is and its trajectory or where it's heading just because a storm came in the shore or came in the sea. You've got to maintain your direction towards wherever your destination is. You've got to continue navigating even if the storm brings in 10 foot, 20 foot, 30 foot waves. Once you change your trajectory, then the objective changes. And so if you've ever seen those videos of those big tanker trucks, just tanker boats or ships or whatever it is, those cargo ships, as they navigate the seas, I mean, it's scary, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it understands where it's supposed to go.
Yes. Yes.
It understands its mission has not changed, even though the temperature and the weather has changed.
Yes.
It understands that the cargo, what it was meant to do and what it's carrying, is still as important as it was before the storm. And now during the storm, even greater still, there is a need for me to make sure that I navigate through the storm. I cannot change my trajectory because the storm changed. I've got to hunker down and lean more into the knowledge and to the captaining of the ship, so that I can navigate through the storm a little better. The issue with people, and the reason why people get all down and dirty or down and out during these changes is because they think their calling has changed. You and I still have to preach the gospel. You and I still have to reach people. And so what you did, Pastor Keith, is that you understood your calling and it didn't change. Now your avenue to bring your message changed.
Right.
But you understood that the message did not change, and your mandate and your calling to reach people did not change. And that's the reason you were able to navigate through the storm. That's the reason why you started the show with a slider and with videos and overlays and all this stuff. You didn't have this before pandemic came.
Right.
You didn't have an Elechrome before the pandemic came. You didn't have 5 cameras before the pandemic came. You didn't know to put the microphone in front of your face until Doc said you should. You didn't know all of this stuff. But you know it now because you understood the situation changed, but my calling hasn't changed. I've got to lean into my calling so that I can face my situation. I've got to lean into on who God has called me to be so I can face the challenge of my situation. I've got to lean into the calling of God in my life so I could change and shift and fit and meet every challenge is ahead of me. People get pushed back when the situation changes because they don't understand the mission. If the ship decides I'm just going to stay here until the storm abates, it will actually sink. But if it decides I'm going to meet every wind and I'm going to meet every wave with the mission to go forward to my set destination, guess what will happen? Even if there's a 20 or 30 foot wave, that ship will navigate through that because it was meant to go through the storm. It was built to go through the storm. The navigation and the talent of the captain was meant to see the changes in the winds and the waves. It was meant to produce greatness in the midst of trial. You and I were meant to produce greatness in the midst of trial. You and I were to produce newness in us in the midst of terrible trials. And that's the reason why those of us that shifted, it's not because we're better than others. It's because our mission never changed.
Come on, sir. You said, I knew he was gonna get ramped up. Listen, hey Andre, I knew it was gonna come. This is what happened in Clubhouse. This is what happens in non-spiritual settings. You put us in the room together, and for some reason, come on, Diana, it'll go to the movement and stuff on the camera. I'm telling you, listen, man, you know what you said. I want you to understand this. How we all met. And the reason why even people in my own city that we haven't even talked to each other for a while, we reconnected in a crisis.
Yeah.
Check it again. We actually reconnected in the crisis. It wasn't because, oh, they over there doing their thing. They think they all that and this, that. No, we don't have no problems. We just ain't seeing each other. Our paths just wasn't crossing. But in the crisis, we passed one another. We had to connect. There was a reason. And here's the deal. Iron sharpens iron, right? When you think about iron sharpening iron, where is iron? Iron is not in just one place, okay? Iron exists in more than one place, so that no matter what place you're in, what condition you're in, you can look and find iron to get sharpened wherever you are. When Game of Thrones, they didn't just only sharpen their swords in one place. You can be out in the field and still get sharp in a dislocated place. You can be in a place that
why? You know why?
Go ahead.
Because they understood what the sword is for.
Yes.
They understood what it was for.
Yes.
They have to bring it anywhere, but anywhere the same tool is available to them at any place. Just because the battle got hot doesn't mean the sword has changed.
Right.
In fact, in the heat of the battle, that's when the sword is most valuable. People don't understand. They're tripping out. They're leaving the church. They're quitting, and the sword is needed at the most difficult times in the battle. At the heat of the battle is where the sword is really needed. The sword is good in its sheath. It's nice as a decoration. But it's not meant to be a decoration in the halls. It's not meant to hang at the walls of your home. It's meant to be in the battlefield. And sometimes people are just comfortable with the sword on the wall when there's fighting in the battlefield. We need to go and bring that out. And that's the reason why you can cut a sword and,
Hey, Lim, it's crazy. So I always like to teach this. When we like to talk about Peter stepping out of the boat, right? There's a storm and he steps out in the storm, right?
Yes.
But when you fast forward and all of us preachers, we done said this and we know it. I'm just saying this for the people in the kitchen behind your phone. Or your computer. The one point I like to emphasize every now and again when I preach that text is the position of Peter after the pandemic, okay? The thing is, it lets us know that he ended up back in the boat. That's most important.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's important that people don't get too high on themselves because they stepped out in the storm. Because there's a lot of people stepping out in the storm like, oh, I came up in the storm. I got my upgrade. I made a mistake, but I got my upgrade. Me and Jesus was walking. It's like, all right, cool. Wait, whoa, Kimosabi. Slow down real quick, okay? Don't jack it up because the whole thing is, you don't want to be here. The thing is, you in the storm, you can't condemn everybody else because they stayed in the boat.
Yeah, we have a tendency for doing that.
Yeah, it's like don't condemn everybody else and know that you doing you in the storm, they saw you because they were in the boat that you were on. And they saw you get out, but they also know that Jesus put you back in the boat with them. That so right good. There. They also know that Jesus put you back in the boat with them. So now it's a catch-22 there because you can't do too much bragging or you're stepping out without understanding that you got put back in the same boat with everybody else, even after you stepped out. And then they also saw you fail. Okay, they saw you fail. So even though they might be looking like, dang, I should have faith to step out. We understand that even if in their failure to step out, if that was a failure, he still failed even though he stepped out. But our failures ain't our finals. And after the finale of it, in our faith, he says, you must still work together. And then to whom much is given, much is required. Because if he keep bragging on, well, y'all was punks and y'all ain't step out, the weight was on him, because it says, after you are converted, I have prayed for you. Now notice Jesus doesn't say too much on, I prayed for everybody else. It's like, no, I prayed for you with your anointed self that stepped out in the storm, because you about to jack up after the storm is over. After the storm is over, your mess up is going to be in the storm. You did real good, but after the storm, you jacked up while it was still calm.
That was good, bro. You're right. You know, sometimes because we have, I don't know, some type of, I mean, the question would be, what brought Peter out rather than the rest of the apostles, the disciples?
Right.
You know, what gave him the idea? Because they said, look, it looks like a ghost. And Jesus said, it's me. It's me.
Right? And he said something real dumb like, hey, bid me to come out there.
They're like, well, if it's you.
Come on, Monica. That's when you go to Dubai in the middle of a crisis. You know,
tell me to come outside if it's you.
That's
like we so bold and so brazen. Yes. We say, God, if it's you, let me do something nobody else wants to do.
Something that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's you. Let me come out there.
That's pretty amazing, dude. What do you think? What was motivating Peter to say that?
I don't even know.
Is it just his personality, or is it like maybe because he was the leader? You know, I mean, he was the leader of James and John, and I mean, he was the leader. He was the owner. Maybe he was even the owner of that boat. I don't know what motivated him to say, Lord, if it's you, bid me to come.
Maybe because he knew that even if I trusted you when it was calm, that you corrected me and said, you know, fish, throw it on the other side. You know, try it on the other side. And I come up with a great catch, you know, and I have this wonderful experience when things are calm. Now that I'm shocked and I'm in a storm, I could be shocked so much that I have no other point but to trust. And so for him, maybe fear caused him to open his mouth in faith. And other people, they just didn't know.
Did you just say what I heard you say? Say that again, bro.
What? I just said.
You said that in fear, he opened his mouth in faith.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. I don't know if you miss your own drop.
Because you know what? We do the calling out when he starts to sink, but we don't give him no credit for opening his mouth before he got into the point of sinking. So a lot of times we deal with the sinking and the hollering out, but we don't talk about the holler before you get into a place where you need the holler. And so the holler out was like, yo, bid me to come out there if that's you. So he's already got a mouth before he gets into his trial, into his trouble. Because here's the thing, they were already in a jacked up position, but then they see him and it's kind of like, okay, I'm kind of shocked and I got fear, and fear for the believer should automatically push you in your faith, not to flee.
So Peter was just so shook.
Right.
He just was like, if it's you, tell me to come out there. It's me, it's Jesus. And the rest of the disciples like, that's not true. It's impossible. And Peter's like, well, if it's him, if it's you, bid me to come. Jesus said, come on. And you know what's strange?
What's that?
It was strange is that now I'm thinking about it now, that kind of story where he's like, if it's you, bid me to come. And Jesus, that was not the intention of Jesus to have Peter, at least not in how we read it.
Right.
You know, in hindsight, we could say, yeah, that's exactly what was going to happen. Jesus knew what was going to happen because, well, he knew stuff. But really, what was interesting is Jesus. The Bible said, I think it was in a different passage, or maybe in the same passage, that he was ready to pass him by.
Oh, bro, dude, wait a minute. I just said that. Listen, about 4 weeks ago, I preached on that, and I said when I was studying that, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can't argue this with a bunch of theologians and deep readers, but I'm like, just on the surface, if we look at it, the full context of that literally renders it that he was en route going where he was going.
Yeah.
He just said, listen, go that way. But it's like, he was like, okay, now it's time for me to go out finish
Bro,
playing.
he was like, it's going to take me 3 days to go around by foot on land. It's going to take me about 8 hours to walk,
so
walk this
I'm
way.
going to just walk this
Bro,
way.
I just walk this way.
Because the thing was,
he Aerosmithed it out of the Sea of Galilee. He's like, I'm going to walk this way.
Because look, my thing was, I read it slow and I was just like, the way this sounded to me is kind of like he was just taking a stroll and they was like, yo, who that? Like, what's that? You know, it's not like he rolled up on them like, hey, what y'all doing? And scared them.
Yeah, correct. It ain't like,
it's like he rolling.
hey,
It was
dude,
like,
I'm about to go. You guys want to come with me? Now he's like, what
is
up,
that
son?
a ghost out there?
That's like me driving around and I see somebody on the bus, be like, whoop. On the bus stand, I'm like, whoop.
Look,
I'm not even honking my horn. I'm just gonna.
Diana says Peter did the same thing we do when we're in a sketchy situation and we yell out, Lord, if it's you, let it be known. Otherwise, I'm about to shoot somebody.
Why she always so violent? That ear slicing. That ear slicing behavior.
Come on, Jody. Look what Jody says. He says, think about it. Genesis 1. The Spirit of God moves on the face of the waters. They thought that Jesus was a spirit and cried out. He was moving on the waters.
Come on,
again.
Jody. Don't drop that like that. What are you doing, bro? We're trying to have a nice conversation, and you here trying to derail it to go deeper. My God. Can't you just let two Easterners do their job here?
Come on, man. I'm trying to chop it up with my Filipino brother, man. He chopping up with his brother, man. You know, it's one of those
Bringing
things.
it to Genesis, man. He's like, and like, come on, you got to bring now you got to talk about and God said,
right.
Whoa.
See, and then Diana said,
What did Diana say? Diana said, "There's good."
listen, man, you know, learn and do. I was just sitting here and you know what? Faithfully, I just said, because this morning I missed it. I was like, all right, I got to do this convo thing. I got to get back into my flow. And I'm like, sometimes you just got to listen to God. You know, you just got to listen. So today I was outside talking to one of my neighbors and he actually said, his name is Will. And Will was talking about how he'd been wrestling with his faith and belief. Not one of those I don't believe God, but it was like one of those it's hard in believing that I'm already resolved to believe. So it was making clear like what we're dealing with even now, and you know, understanding displacement with congregation. Now, mind you, he's a Caucasian brother of mine, and you know, and he was explaining his church, you know, Reformed and something else, and he was like, sometimes they just be like all over the place, and then his dad's faith, they're on the deeper things, so they, you know, everybody's like busting caps at one another because you don't wear black and white for communion, or you drink wine and you should have juice, and you know, y'all don't praise God enough and you don't. And it was all of that. And so him and I were just talking, and I said, listen, dude, I'm a Pew Baby Black Baptist Church dude. And I said, look at what we're doing now. We're talking about Christ. We're talking about heaven. We're talking about those who have been suffering. And we're out here while our kids are sledding down the hill, and we are having a wonderful, beautiful Christian conversation right here. And we're not going so deep over here. We're not going deep in politics and stuff. And we're not being phony with one another. And what I was sharing with a lot of people is, if you only know how to be spiritual in your cultural environment only, there's something wrong with your spiritual which is spiritual work. Because if you are only limited, so for somebody like me, I kind of like opened up because I'm like, okay, I can't go and hide in the four walls. And I get it. Most people say, oh, church beyond the four walls. Okay, so they go out on their curb and say, we're in the community. It's like, okay, I got that too. But community is also when you go to Target, Okay.
Yeah.
It's also when you go across the bridge around here and you go to Cherry Hill instead of King of Prussia. It's when you go to, Cheesecake Factory in Delaware instead of King of Prussia. So those environments, it's when you go on vacation and you on a cruise ship and, you having a good time. But then there's that moment, it's Sunday and I'm on vacation, but normally I'd be in church and other people that feel the same way. And you end up having a conversation. And listen, that's why this show is called The Konvos, right? It's not church, but we sneak a preach. But it's called The Konvos because now is the time that we've opened up. Most of us pastors, we were all live streaming, but it was kind of like that was for the members that didn't come to church this Sunday. They just wanted to be at Bedside Tabernacle. But now when COVID hit,
you just say Bedside Tabernacle.
Yeah, that's an old Black Baptist thing. Bedside Tabernacle,
I've never heard of that.
Pastor
I gotta
Pillar,
put that in my.
oh yeah, that's old school. Pastor Pillar, Deacon Sheets, the Comforter Choir. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's good. How come I never heard of that, man?
Listen, man, you gotta come to Philly. Andre, tell him he got to do a drive by to the Philly churches real quick. We'll know who you are when you come walking in. But what happened just now? We figured out that when we hit the live button, even for a Sunday, we're everywhere now. And then friends are seeing, so there has to be a quality in what you say. It's not about perfection. It's about striving for perfection. So it's iteration. So now it's kind of like, I know what I can do in my house, but who am I outside of it? I know what I can do in my place of comfort, but what do I do when it's uncomfortable? And therein lies, we'll sneak one more. Acts chapter 27-25. It's Paul. He's in the middle of his storm. What I love about Acts 27 is at the beginning of it, he's a prisoner. He's not the leader, okay? Yeah. But he is the leader. Now let's go. The people that were running the ship, they got experience. They know exactly what they're doing. They know everything. So much so that he says, listen, and he throws a prophetic word out there. This ain't going to look good. And what happened was his prayer and his warning didn't change it. It still went on, and what he said actually did happen. Right. Now, when they're in it, he didn't spend time dwelling on, see, I told y'all. And then what he just says is, the whole context of that middle, 27-25, is he says, I believe God. Now, he didn't give them a play-by-play, but he knew a couple of things. And one of those things I want to tell everybody right now, and people got to listen. He told them, y'all can't jump ship. That's a ministry within itself when he doesn't go as too deep as being sensitive, but he says, I'm going to get the people that are strong enough to keep them in the boat because y'all can't jump off because the word that God gave me says that we're all going to make it. If y'all jump ship, then what he said is not going to be true. And then God does not lie. So he believed that there was enough power in those who were in position to stop people who were trying to escape were they were. Yeah. And
they were trying to kill the prisoners, right? Let's do something with the prisoners.
They try and roll out. And he's like, y'all can't roll out. Now, the end of it, and here again, this is the problem with the pandemic. We're not telling people that the landing may not be the best. And that's the broken pieces part of it. That's the broken pieces part. Some people are going to have to swim to shore. Some are just going to have to glide in, okay? And then some that were already told, jump in and get the shore, but we all going to make it. But the vessel we're in is going to break. It's going to fall apart. And that's
the old way, bro.
Oh, my God. That's what some fear is for some people. They still have not came to the conclusion that the vessel that you're in, it may break. And so it's not going to be there to get back on after this is over. You're not going to sail on it again, but you will survive.
I mean, can we just consider the church as we know it will never be the same again? The buildings and the gatherings that we used to love and cherish ain't never going to be the same again. Like there are people that are trying to hold on to the old when maybe God is saying, look, the ship is going to fall apart, but I got work for you to do. If you're to hang on to the pieces, there is a miracle on Malta's shores. Right? There's a miracle. There is a new revival that's going to come.
Right.
And people are trying to hang on as hard as they can to the ship that God had determined ain't going the way He's wanting them to go. Can we just look at it that way? I mean, I have not, honestly, in all of the 9 months or the 10 months of the pandemic, I've not thought about this scripture until you mentioned it right now. And all I could think about is the fact that things have shifted and there are people trying to hang on to things that the old guards are trying to hang on. And they're trying to kill off the new thing because they're afraid that they will get loose and do their own thing. But God is saying, hey, I'm changing it up. And if you would hang on, the broken pieces would lead you to a new revival.
Yeah.
It would lead you to a new group of people. It would lead you to conversations with a man from Philly that you would have never met had you stayed on the boat. It would lead you to a conversation with a man from Hawaii had you stay hanging on to the boat. It would lead you to the woman in Missouri and St. Louis, ear slicing and all, and you would miss that appointment had you held on to the ship. But if you let go, I've got this meeting. I got this new revival. I got a new fire. I got a new destination. There is some barbarians, people that you didn't even realize existed, that will now hear the sound of your voice because you shifted when I told you that the ship was gonna sink, but you were gonna make it. People are messing up because they think the church ain't gonna make it through the pandemic. The church as it was will make it. But the church as it is,
it's a continue.
Make it. Come on, you're gonna make me shout. Now you're gonna really make me.
Hey, look. See, if you know your hip hop, it's a Black Thought word. I shall proceed, and continue. You see, there's a proceed and continue. Shout out to Alicio Way. Pause. Somebody got to understand.
And proceed. Things are gonna change, but don't you be afraid of the church. Don't you be afraid of the thing that God has started. The way that you used to do it may change, and the way that you are trying to hold on may change. God is trying to change you, but you're trying to hold on to the ship. You're trying to hold on. We've got to meet this way. We've got to do it this way. But in reality, God is saying, no, you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to ever do anything anyway, because I'm the God of every way. And if you would trust in me, if you would hold on to me, instead of holding on to the ship, why don't you hold on to the prophecy? Instead of holding on to the bows of the ship, why don't you hold on to my unchanging word my unchanging hand? And instead of holding on to the thing that will fall apart, why don't you hold on to my word that will stand until the generations end, and you will see revival happen. Instead of complaining about the government, instead of complaining about what's not happening, start looking at what God is bringing you and prophesy and tell the people, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We may not ever be back in this building, but we're gonna make it. We may never ever get back to a pulpit ministry like we did before, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
His help came on. My boy Carlton is on here. It's past our bedtime.
Man, you got that message, bro. I haven't thought about that.
His help came on. His help came. But listen, wait. I don't want to scare people. Understand? There are.
I do want to scare people. That's what happened to them. That's what happened to them. Paul wasn't scared.
Learn
Paul
it,
wasn't scared. They were scared. They were calling on, ooh, listen to this, Pastor Keith. They
Go
were
ahead.
calling on to their God. You see, there are people in the churches, they got gods of something else, but there's got to be prophets whose God is the Lord, and he's not concerned about the ship. He's concerned about the mission God has called us to be.
You said calling on their God.
They're calling on their God, preacher. They're calling on their God. They're thinking, oh, how about the monies? How about all these things? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Stop. Stop minding what God has placed in his plan, and start minding the prophecy that God has placed in his word according to his church. His church, the Bible says, even the gates of hell will not prevail it. How can COVID prevail against the church? My God.
I hear you, sir. I hear you, sir.
I know you're saying. I don't want to scare anybody. I want to scare people. People need to get scared because they are planning to keep those ship running, and God is bringing us to a new shores. God is bringing us to a new shore, man. God is bringing us to the new shore. He's connecting us with new people. He's connecting us with different folks. He's connecting us with businesses that we don't even have we shouldn't be connected with. They're connecting us with people that maybe are vulgar, call themselves heathen, but God is doing something. We were kind of like pushing away people because of our little own standards and whatever it is that we like in our little boats and our little ship. And God said, I'm breaking that up, son. Because you keep judging people by the way you like your ship run when I have called you to win a city and to win a nation that doesn't look like you. So stop trying to ride a ship that I want to break and fall apart. I've sent this storm for the specific reason to break up the ship. And you keep trying to hold on to the ship when I'm trying to move you into the next generation, into the next shore. Anyway, I'm sorry. Why did I wake up? Why did I come down here? What did you do to me, Pastor Keith?
This is what Paul said. So he goes back. Technically, he's going back a few chapters. And when the angel shows up, the voice that he hears in the middle of it is, remember where I told you you're going to end up.
That's it.
Therefore, you won't pay attention to where you're at if I told you where you're going to end up.
Defeated. The church of the living God will never be defeated. Nope. The gates of hell cannot prevail against it. Nope. Why are we so scared about this thing? Why are we so scared about the shift? Why are we so scared? Ain't God the God of the shift? Ain't he the God of the shift? Isn't he in the shift? Isn't he in the fire? Isn't he in the lion's den? Isn't he hiding a sheep in between the thicket when we are ready to slay our own son? Isn't he the provider? Isn't he the wheel in the middle of the wheel? Isn't he the lily of the valley? Isn't he the rose of Sharon? Isn't he the resurrection and life?
Wave
and we
the
are
fan, Michelle. Michelle, wave the fan. We need a fan. Listen.
Y'all, you should have never brought that scripture up, man, because it had not been in my spirit in so long. It just quickened me.
Bro,
my God,
bro,
I'm sorry, because I don't know who's listening to us, but I know there's a lot of people.
Ain't nobody worried about what we talking about. Listen, 27 William Scott. Shout out my boy Pastor William Scott. He's on here. Carlton Aiken, Pastor
Scott, blessings.
We see Pastor Jody's in here. Valrita Davis is in here. We got Sammy there. We got Andre Persons here. Listen, bro. The thing is, I'm telling you, Acts 27:25 has always been my highlight. Because it's the pivotal.
Not actually. I love the Peter in the boat. And now that's gonna be
Peter in the boat, and then Paul. Right. So listen, and all of these things are in the boat, right? It's in a place where you can't control the bottom nor the atmosphere. And so if you step out of the vessel that you're in, you lost all control. The best you can do is float. The best you can do is chill for a minute but you can't do anything about it. So when the Euroclydon is called was coming, and he said that Euroclydon is coming. He said it's coming, and he said, "I'm telling y'all."
Storm, man. The storm was so big it had a name, bro.
It had
a name.
He says, "Go. We should take another direction." And there's times when you can say the right thing, and you can try to steer people out of the danger, but you're still gonna go into the danger. This is some sovereignty stuff here. This is his ways are above our ways, his thoughts are above our thoughts. And the text had to let us know who the people were experienced and in control. It had to let us know who the experts were. It had to let us know why they ignored him, because he was technically a nobody to them, but he was everything to God and the survivors. Let me say it again. He was nobody to them, but he was everything to God and the survivors. And so those people who were earthly ordained to and experienced to run a ship, God took the non-ship experienced person and had him show up to be the leader in the middle of the storm. The problem right now with most people is there's a lot of people that carry titles into the storm. Let me say it again. They carry titles and experience into the storm with the vessel that they knew how to run, but that Euroclydon showed that they don't know everything because they weren't being navigated by the one that navigates or creates the storm in the first place. But God said, I'm going to go past all the experienced people and tap into the prisoner on the ship, the nobody that nobody listened to, and that person is going to hear from the angel and get the message. And he says, y'all chill out. I believe God. Let me say this. Every pastor that is surviving right now, I'm saying it let me say this real quick. I'm prophetically saying wrong camera. I'm prophetically saying this to you that you actually probably said these words. I believe God. Now, nobody was hearing you, but you said it, and they know you said it. So when they got stuck, you said, I believe God. You ain't even take a whole text. You just said, I believe God. Now, Paul didn't explain how everything was going to happen, but he said, I believe God. And then he unpacked what needed to happen with the people that tried to jump ship, all because I believe God. Everything that happened from verses Acts 27-25, everything from verse 25 and on, everything that happened, everything that was loose, everything that was let go, it was all based on I believe God. That's it right there. I believe God all the way to the breakup. I believe God. All the way to the end up, I believe God. That's what he wrote on. And that's who showed up in the middle of the storm. The thing is, how are we showing up in the middle of it? That's it right there. How are we showing up in the middle of it? I'm so sorry, dude.
My God.
I felt that, man. Is how we listen, man. Listen, some people saying, oh man, I didn't know you knew cameras and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not an expert.
Listen to this, Keith.
Go.
Paul allowed, and I haven't read it in a minute, but Paul, if I remember correctly, Paul allowed the captains to do what it is, whatever they want to do. Paul allowed, until they started talking about getting rid of the prisoners. And it says, don't you worry. The God whom I serve told me we ain't good dying. The God whom I serve. Somebody's got to have that. The God whom I serve.
Yeah.
Is that what Paul said? Is that what Paul said? God whom I serve. Is that right?
You got Paul speaking that language, but you know, if we go and jump back, skip back in the Old Testament, of course, you just go to Daniel 3, and their attitude was, but if not. My favorite phrase of conjunction in the Old Testament, but if not. That is the same mentality that Paul technically carried in the storm. It's the but if not. So here's I'm gonna give you one last thing. Len.
I just have to open it back up.
I'm gonna give you one last thing.
I have to refresh myself with the word.
I dare everybody that's watching right now, if you can, just hashtag I'm still counting. Okay, I'm still counting. See, the thing is that we say count your blessings and name them one by one. It's kind of like a phrase of sarcasm, right? Because you can't, you can't actually end the counting on how great our God is. However, here's the other thing. The biblical part of that is count it all joy, right?
Count it all joy.
And when you count it all joy, I'm gonna just stop right there. Count it all joy. If you can say I'm still counting, the problem with many of us is when COVID hit, COVID stopped us from counting. Okay, let's try again. COVID stopped a lot of people from counting. I didn't stop counting when the pandemic hit. I had to keep counting. Because watch this here. I'm counting on God. I'm counting my blessings. You see what I'm saying? So the counting, when you count on God and count your blessings, you always are counting on God. You can't never stop counting on God. You can't never stop counting your blessings. And when you're counting your blessings, it'll keep you occupied with looking at the goodness, and it'll keep you off of worried about the bad that has happened. And so you don't ignore it, but the thing is, it'll get you through it, because the ride of it is, watch this here. The peace that Paul had in Acts 27:25 is later when he speaks the language of, and the peace of God. That passive all understanding shall keep. And the thing is, in Acts 27:25, he was kept in the middle of his storm, but he kept it on peace. Because while they were putting their worries into one place, he said it's all or nothing. You can't put half of it in worry and half of it in prayer. It says everything prayer and supplication. And so when he speaks to God, the angel speaks to him, he comes out of that prayer and he says, I believe God. Because here's what the text does. The text doesn't say that he said, hey, God, I believe you. He had to tell them, those folk in the boat, I believe God. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't that he had to tell God. He had to tell them, hey, here's my explanation. I believe God.
Yeah. Well, this is you got me looking at the scripture again, man. And that's right. We got to learn to count. But look at this thing, man.
Come on, sir.
Yeah, what you doing?
Go ahead, say something. Say something.
I mean, look. Paul said to them. Well, we read the scripture. So for those of us that maybe not there with us right now, but here in the book of Acts, chapter 27, verse 17, he said, or 18, and we being exceedingly tossed with a tempest, the next day they lightened the ship. The third day we cast out with our own hands the tackling of the ship. And when neither sun nor stars in many days appeared, and no small tempest lay on us, all hope that we should be saved was taken away. But after long abstinence, Paul stood forth.
Boy, you about to have me started up in here.
Go.
Gordon, where you at? Where you at?
I'm just saying this, bro.
We got time for it real quick before we sign off.
Verse 23. Because Paul says that after 21 says, after a long abstinence, stood Paul, right? Paul stood and said, sirs, you should have hearkened unto me, and have loosed from Crete, and have gained this harm and loss. And now I exhort you to be of good cheer, for there shall be no loss of any man's life among you, but of the ship. For there stood by me this night angel.
Stood by me.
Who's standing by you? Huh?
You got one there.
Who's standing by you? Who's standing? Who are you standing by?
Come on,
my God,
sir.
are you standing by, or are you standing by, or is there somebody standing by you? Right? Are you leaning on something else, or is someone standing by you, guiding you? Who are you leaning on to? Who are you holding on to? Who are you standing by?
Yes, sir.
Come on, you're being shook
Right.
because you don't understand who's standing by you.
That's a good one, Reverend. I'm going to give you credit for that right there. Who's standing by you?
I mean, come on.
Well, it says
Turn
stood by me.
to your Facebook neighbor.
Turn to your neighbor.
Somebody tag the person above you and underneath you. Tag your Facebook neighbor and say, who's standing by you? The Bible said, for there stood by me this night the angel of God. Look, listen, Pastor Keith. You may not have experienced it before, but if you know Scripture, the angel of God has experienced the fire of God as it heated up the Israelites as they crossed the wilderness in the darkness, as it covered the angel of the Lord was the one that guided them through the race. The angel of God has experieed.
I
the
try
Bible
not to push
tells-
him, Andre. I try not to push
Daniel
him.
said this. Daniel said this. King lived forever, but God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lion.
You're not supposed to scratch your head on Facebook.
Shut the mouths of the lion. The angel of God, you may have not experienced it before, but the angel of God that's standing by you has. Come on. You may be shook because you didn't experience this before, but the angel of God has experienced this thing already. And so you may not be, you may be shook, but because the angel, who's standing by you? Man?
So then you gotta take your text, and I'm gonna watch the sermon because I never leaned on verse 23. That's good. You leaned on it. And so look at 23.
Listen. Hold on, because Paul wasn't. I'm not preaching. I'm just reiterating what the preacher is saying here, because he's the one preaching. Keith, look at this. For there stood by me this night the angel of God. Right? Watch this. Now listen.
You're gonna say
Whose
something about
I am.
24. You're gonna say something with 24. I know you are.
Look, whose I am and whom I serve.
Right.
I'm not preaching it. Paul's preaching it.
Look, read it. Look at your screen and read it in the Message translation. I got it on the screen for you. Look at 24. It's backwards. See, you didn't hear the teleprompter part I was trying to tell you.
I know. I bought already. It's already in the mail. You see that? It's already in the mail.
So you
the
know what?
angel that stood by me, man.
I'm gonna be nice.
Me.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna copy it for you.
Keith, I know that's the reason why you're flourishing in the midst of pandemic, and you better tell them, listen.
I'm gonna copy it for you. I'm gonna copy it for you. I'm gonna put it where you can see it. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna put it where you can see it. Is it forward to you or is it backwards?
It's still backwards.
Oh my
That's why I'll move it.
No, don't you move it.
Saying to me,
I'm
don't
read
give
it
up.
for you.
All you're going to stand before Caesar yet, and everyone sailing with you is also going to make it. Listen.
Try it again. Just read it slow, and then take 30 seconds on it. Read it slow. Take 30 seconds.
Don't give up, Paul. You're going to stand before Caesar yet. Everyone sailing with you is also going.
And so in the middle. So where he's at, he said, "You're going to be in another place yet."
That's what I'm saying. But hold on. Somebody gotta do this on Facebook land. Say, if you're hanging by me, you're gonna make it. Oh
Right.
my God.
It felt that good, brother. It felt that good, brother. Look, it felt good to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, it felt good to me, y'all. It
If
felt
you're
good to me.
hanging by me-
It felt that good to It felt good
Oh,
to me,
man.
y'all.
Keith. If you're hanging with me, you're gonna make it. If you're by yourself, I don't know. But if you're hanging, somebody got to tell their neighbor.
So look, we gotta
tell
reel
somebody.
it in. We gotta reel it in. We just gonna tell somebody, I'm glad you in the boat with me. I'm gonna just leave that.
Oh my God!
I'm
I'm
glad
glad
you in
you
the
didn't
storm
jump
with me.
ship.
Yeah.
That's what you need to put. I'm glad you didn't jump ship.
You didn't jump. Don't jump.
I'm glad you didn't jump ship because you know what? God's got a yet in us.
Diane, I'm going to bed. He ain't gonna have me up. Listen,
Listen,
a yet,
listen,
a yet. You got to
God's
use the
got a
message
yet in
translation.
it.
There's a yet there. There's a yet.
God's got a yet in my trouble. God's got a yet in my trouble. God's got a yet in my storm. God's got a yet in my pandemic.
Wait,
God's got
pause
a
right
yet.
there. Pause right there. For context, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put on the screen why he's saying yet. If you notice right here on the screen, I'm using Ecamm right here. And what I'm going to do is quickly highlight the word that Lim is talking about. And it will be in the white lettering in bold italic. And that word is yet. Back to Lim, ladies and gentlemen.
Yet. There's a yet. We're going to make it because God's got a yet in our trial. We're going to make it because God's got a yet. Not a Yeti. Not a blue
Not a
Yeti.
Yeti.
Not a Yeti. Not a Yeti, but a yet. God's got a yet. You got to say that. You got to put that in the Facebook corner. Some Facebook's corner's got to put it. I've got a yet in my spirit. Oh, God. I got a yet in my spirit. Hallelujah. My bank may not look at the way it's supposed to look at, but I got a yet in my bank. Hallelujah. The zeros may not be where they should be, but there's a yet. That's coming. Hallelujah. The church may not be where I need to be.
Diana said she said not a blue Yeti.
Not a blue Yeti.
She said
Not a blue Yeti.
Not a blue
Not a
Yeti.
blue Yeti.
It's not
But
a
yet.
blue Yeti, but it's a yet.
You know what it is? God's got a greater place for me. God's not going to let me be. He's not going to let me sink. Number one, because the angel
It ain't
has
the blue
stood
Yeti.
by me.
It's
The
not-
angel has stood by me. God's got a yet. Not a Yeti. God's got a yet.
It's not-
God's got a yet. Come on, Keith. Give me that hanging E flat. Give me that hanging
I
E
don't have
flat
it.
since we're in A flat. Since we're in A flat. Give me that hanging A.
I lost it, man. I don't have it.
Come on. Somebody got to put it in the comment section. I've got
Oh,
a
my gosh.
yet.
I got
There's
a
a
yet.
yet in my spirit. There's a yet in my spirit. Don't count me out. Because there's a yet in my spirit. Don't count me out. I will not fear. Saying, fear not, Paul, because you have to be brought. I have to be. I have to be. I'm destined to be. I am made to be. I have been formed to be. I have been purposed to be. I am called to be. I am sent out to be. There is a place that I'm going. And so no matter what may happen, even if the ship falls apart, there's a yet in my spirit. I got to be where God is bringing me.
That yet is still there.
The yet is still there. It is still there. You can't take it out. You like to rip it off, but the yet is still there. The yet ain't going nowhere. As much as Miss Diana wants the Yeti gone, the Yeti will still be there. But we're not talking about the blue Yeti. We're talking about the yet that God has placed. In the midst of the storm, there's a yet. In
There's
the
a yet.
midst of a storm, there's a yet.
There's
In the
still a
midst
yet.
of a breaking ship, there's a yet. In the midst of fear, there's a yet. Hallelujah. Oh, God.
I knew you
And
couldn't help it.
look. Keith,
What?
Keith,
What?
verse 25. Wherefore,
Uh-oh.
sirs, be of good cheer. Aha.
That's where it started.
Oh.
So you see the
Be
cheer
of
part just got
cheer.
you, right? The cheer part got you. Go ahead, close it, Lim. Go ahead, you can close it. You can close it. You can close it.
It ain't never going to be close because there's a yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for
gotta
joining us on
celebrate,
tonight
y'all.
for sneaker preachers that have gone
You all
wild.
got to be celebrating. You all got to have a celebration in your spirit. Don't be so glum, chum. You've got to celebrate because of the yet. You've got to celebrate. Paul the Apostle said, because, sirs, be of good cheer, for I believe God that it shall be,
It shall
even
be.
as it was told me.
That's
oh,
it.
oh, there's another one. It shall be.
What else do you see? I know it's gonna get good to you, man. Look, This is why I'm glad for a moment. Go ahead. What you got?
It's your fault.
I ain't do nothing. Go
You
ahead.
had opened me up to this scripture that I haven't read in a minute.
See, you're going to be good. You're going to be good and lit. Go ahead, sir.
It says, howbeit, we must be cast upon a certain island. Listen, I may be rerouted, but I ain't displaced.
That's good. That's good, sir.
I may be rerouted, but I'm still going the right way.
I like it.
I may reroute, but God hasn't taken me to the point where he's bringing me. He hasn't taken me out to where he wants me to go. I may be rerouted, but I'm still going the right way. Oh, my God.
I knew you couldn't help it, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to do that. It's just natural for me, man. You know, it's just naturally. It's like Tootsie Rolls. Everything I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
This preach.
but
oh
you
my
know
God.
what? But it's real though, because so what I like to do, I call what my Bible studies are. I call them Bible to Life, and it's the same reason why I'm wearing this T-shirt right now.
Yes, sir,
That's it.
yes, sir.
The learn and do.
Jody says, unplug him or he ain't stopping.
Cause he knows. He realizes, okay? And so you know what? But the thing what Jody realizes is something like this.
Some stuff ain't worth rushing. You know, you gotta add that season on and let it marinate.
Let her marinate. That's right. You got to add some seasoning.
Now we can go to bed.
What time is it?
It's past my bedtime, bro. It's like I'm gonna get in the bed before 1 o'clock.
You are never going to invite me again.
It ain't true. Listen, I could have pushed the button. There ain't no problem. I was in here because I was like, I have not been getting up to do coffee and conversations in the morning. So I was just sitting there like everybody else pushing the live button. So I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to hit the live button. So, you know, and sometimes.
Let that sit right there. Let that marinate.
She startled me for a minute.
Cool breeze. However.
She said, we almost made it through the whole stream without that clip. Until Diana sues me, I'm going to play that clip. And I'm going to send everybody, please subscribe to Diana Gladney's page.
Yep,
you know what I'm
please
saying?
do,
Because
please
she will say something on her YouTube that'll be
yes,
so deep
yes,
that
yes.
here's what you got to do.
Some stuff ain't worth rushing. You know,
That's right.
you gotta add that season on and let it marinate.
Oh, my goodness. That's so good. Oh.
So,
I'm blaming anything that happened tonight on you.
So Lem, I need you to look into the camera, right? I need you looking into the camera, and I need you to repeat those. I need you to repeat those words that you just heard Diana say. Okay?
Put it again. I'm
gonna play it so you can repeat those words. Okay? And then I'm gonna have to get one from Michelle soon. So here we go. Take a listen.
I'm listening, sir.
Some stuff ain't worth rushing. You know, you gotta add that season on and let it marinate.
Some stuff ain't worth rushing.
Say it again.
You know?
Go ahead. Now go.
Some stuff ain't worth rushing. You know? Sometimes you got to put a little salt in it and let it marinate.
Thank you, sir. Do one more take. You want me to play it again? You need to hear it again?
You know? Some
Go ahead.
things ain't worth rushing. You know? Sometimes you got to put a salt. Wait, hold on.
Give me
right.
some food of your ethnicity. Give me
Here we go,
something of your ethnicity. Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go. You know, some things ain't worth rushing. You know? Sometimes you got to put a little adobo in it and let it marinate.
Yes, Lim. I needed that drop. I got the Lim drop of marinade. Yes.
What are you gonna build? You're gonna build a library. You're gonna build a library. You're gonna build a library.
Diana,
marinade drop.
Diana, he said you gotta put some adobo. Man.
No, you know what? I should have said soy sauce. That's
Soy
it.
sauce,
That's it. Yes, soy sauce. Adobo is more Hispanic.
Well, you
So,
can pass for that too.
let me go. Let me do it again.
Okay, you want to do another one? Okay. Vote. Come on, Lola. Do you get the chop or was he good? Okay, here we go. Yeah,
All
see,
right.
see, look, my niece likes that. She likes the adobo.
Yeah, but the soy sauce is more
Okay,
consistent.
all right,
with that.
here we go. Do you need Diana's again to get the vibe
No,
right?
no,
Are you
I'm
cool?
good.
Okay.
I'm good. I mean, that thing is worth. I mean, listen.
Okay, let me take this off the screen, and here we go.
I mean, listen. Some things are worth not rushing. Sometimes you gotta put a little soy sauce in it and let it marinate. I don't know. That didn't sound as good.
Look, Jody says adobo was good. See that?
Adobo was good. All
Hold
right.
up,
we'll
Bishop
leave it
is
at
in the house. See, we gotta go to bed because Bishop is in the house too. Hey, Bishop, you got playback. We went ham. We went ham. We went ham tonight. So,
Oh, Bishop, you just coming in?
yeah,
Bishop?
Bishop just coming in. See, I'm on East Coast, man. I gotta go to bed. I
I need Bishop's like delivery because he's always just like
right.
cool, just relax and,
Right.
and very didactic in the way
Yo,
he
the
speaks. and
the
way he
vote is
shares.
the vote is in, sir. So I think
No
as
vote
far
is
as I think as far as soy sauce,
Soy sauce, somebody else.
yeah. I think soy sauce gets the
Nobody
yeah,
understands
soy sauce gets that. Yeah, soy sauce gets the
Oh my God.
yeah. But the adobo is
It's fire.
yeah, Bishop. Yeah, you got to go there. We just for reference, Bishop. I'm just gonna show you on the screen what happened. This was going on before you showed up. That one
He's
highlighted
gonna
word.
preach it himself. Yeah,
Lim-
yeah. That's
Lim-
a holler
Lim
right
lost
there.
it. That one 3-letter word
one
right
word.
here. Yeah, that one word kind of really set it off. Okay, listen, my other niece is here. She said adobo
Which
was
one?
all I use. I think adobo is it.
That's
Yup.
it.
Yeah, Mickey said, listen, everybody's on the
Marinate.
adobo. Yeah,
No noodles.
you got to do the adobo. So I'm gonna end this, and we're
Gonna
gonna stay
end
with the adobo. You know what I'm saying? As you,
Sir.
I use some tonight. I use it on the potatoes. So
But you see, we don't really use adobo. Adobo is actually a chicken seasoning, a
Yes.
chicken dish,
But-
adobo chicken, but it's
Right.
not the seasoning. What we use is actually soy sauce, but that's a little bit more. You need to know it culturally. Adobo is more popular. So anyway,
you know
I'll
what?
leave it be.
Because we did all this, I'm just going to end it on a nice, proper, soft note, and I'm going to let this hit one more time.
Yes,
Y'all
do
can
it.
sign off. We're going to say good night. God bless
night.
everybody out there. Whatever your faith
Don't
is,
give it, everybody.
whatever your denomination is, we're not going there. We just going to say God bless you and good
Yes.
night, and we're praying for you. So we hope that you got something out of something that we said on tonight, in having fun and at the same time being serious about God. Laughter is good for the soul, and that's what we
Yes.
come to do. And in this format, you all have your church, your pastors, or whatever, but just as men of God, we have it on the convos. And so this is my brother Lim. Will y'all give God a hand clap praise for Lim on tonight, having fun. And I met him in the storm, and we met each other in the storm. But praise be to God, we already were somebody before we came into our storm with our calling, before we came into it. And so I'm grateful that I'm in the boat with him. He's in the boat with me, and everybody that's in the column. We're all in this boat together. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time. And so
I did, man.
yeah.
And I just want to share to everybody.
go ahead.
Don't you give up, because there's a yet
There's a yet.
in our spirit. Hallelujah.
Listen, for y'all, good night. I'm going to throw my girl back on. It's not going to get tired. It's not going to get old. I'm gonna play my girl.
Sing,
And
Tamika.
after her voice, we're going to sign off. All right, people. God bless y'all, and good night.
Good night. Good night.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy has given Jesus Christ, his Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because he's given Jesus Christ, his Son. And now let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. Oh, we give you thanks. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because he's given Jesus Christ, his Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because he's given Jesus Christ, his Son. And now let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And we say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, we say thank you, Lord. Oh, and I just want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Say you've been so good and we thank you, Lord. Nobody like you nowhere, we thank you, Lord. You're the sovereign Lord, thank you, Lord.